Hello and welcome to Coffee and Bonsai with Tom. We are once again in the bonsai workshop. This is where I do all my heavy duty work in looking at yet another bonsai forest. This one is quite new. I had several much larger trees that I had pruned for styling selections, and so these are all cuttings. And currently none of these. Well, I do believe they have roots at the moment, but you know, uh, 3, 4 weeks ago they had no roots because they were fresh cuttings, and I kind of dried them out for I don't know 4 or 5 days, maybe a week, and then I potted them up in here. You can see I used the standard technique I've mentioned several times, where I use wire, uh, sort of a mechanism I design from the bottom so that I can place each plant. So I run kind of heavy gauge wire that will sort of allow me to position the tree at the angle I want. And then I also use some rock because I like rock, and I think in particular this one has worked out quite well with this kind of lava looking rock with the white and these kind of stumpy looking trees. So I'm pretty happy with the way this one has come out. You can see it's definitely quite desiccated now because it is busy growing roots, but there is new growth on it. I'm not sure if you can see that in the video, but there is, and so I'm quite confident that they are busy growing roots at the moment. So now I'm at the point where I look at them and go, well, I'm getting top growth. I'll give it just a tiny bit of water and kind of mist it, and then hopefully I will scale that up over time, and they will kind of robustly grow, and before you know it I'll have more growth on my hands and I know what to do with. But as I mentioned before, you can tell, see, if they're growing aerial roots, it's a good indication to me that the stuff that's down in the soil, which, the soil may seem dry, but there is for sure some amount of moisture in there, and so the roots are much, if they're growing up here, they're definitely growing down there. So yeah, this is a Gollum Jade. I have it's probably my favorite kind of jade, actually. And this one is, as I said, this one's kind of dried out because it's growing roots. But in the future, I'll show you some that are happier. And I just love the way it grows because the leaf growth almost looks like pine trees, right? It kind of comes out in these palms with these multiple leaves that come out of a central point, and it just kind of keeps growing that way. And they're just, they just have a very nice look, and they tend to get nice fat trunks in them, and they kind of grow in this upright position. And so I've been really, really happy with them, the way they grow. And I think, yeah, for sure they're my favorite. I mean, if I discount Portulacaria Afra dwarf jade, which isn't really a jade, these are my favorite to work with, because I just think they just look more convincing, and you get these small leaves, and particularly under my indoor lights, like, these leaves are very narrow and almost needle-like. So I can't wait until this plant recovers, this forest recovers, and I can prune back some of this bigger stuff, because I think it'll come in really tight and small. So let's do a spin, and I'll let you see it from all angles. Let me see how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 trees in here. And as I said, they're all cuttings from trees that I have been growing for a little while. I actually got, I think I ordered a jade, again, Facebook Marketplace, I think, and it came. It was bare root and nearly dead, so I just planted it in some good soil and let it recover for a year, and then I took all these cuttings off of it. Um, when I had the chance there. So uh, yeah, so that's the story of the jade, and I really like the Gollum Jade. The other jades I have the Crassula Ovata, which is, when you say jade plant, it's just a standard jade plant everyone thinks about. And then this Gollum, and then I have Hobbit. All right, and I'll show you the Hobbit ones in a future video. They're kind of interesting because they have two different types of leaves on them, and I'm less crazy about that, but I'm just kind of going with it and see, maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know. So I mean, sometimes things I don't initially like, and then kind of forces you to be creative and do something interesting with the plant that shows off that aspect of it. And so I haven't given up on those yet, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is, I think, the third or fourth week sitting here in the chiller bonsai workshop, where I think the temperature is like in the mid 50s now, but it's definitely getting new growth. And so I think we're out of the woods there, and I'll start watering it soon. Oh, something I wanted to mention. So I got this pot online, and you can see this, where I repaired it. I think this is called kintsugi, or I've also heard people call it kintsugi. I mean, I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation there, but it's called golden repair. So it's sort of a Japanese artist technique where, if you have a broken pottery, you repair it with actual gold. Now, this is not actual gold. This is it's like an epoxy with a gold it's like a coloring in there. But you can see this pot, and I had ordered this pot, and I felt terrible. Well, I didn't feel terrible, but it arrived broken. So I was irritated because I really wanted to use it. And I don't know, like 6 major pieces. And so I contacted the seller, and of course they sent me out another one right away. And I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like maybe 8 pieces, right? So it was pretty broken. And I kind of thought, and this is my first one. It's a little rough. I've repaired other pots afterwards that look a little better, but it's all part of the character. But so I got the new pot, and then I thought, well, what am I going to do with this old pot? And I was planning on just chucking it. And then I kind of thought, well, you know what? Maybe I'll try to fix this thing. And so, so that's what I did. And hang on, I think I have the kit around here. Let me, I'll show it to you, and I'll show you exactly kind of how it worked. Yeah, so I did have the kit here in the workshop, and there you see it. It's kintsugi repair kit. Now, they had this on Amazon. I bought it there. And let's see. Yeah, facing flaws and imperfections calmly by repairing one's own ceramics with gorgeous gold. And they sell this on Amazon. It was, I don't know, not unreasonable. Maybe $18, $20, something like that. But I'll show you what's in here. If I can get this thing open. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. It's funny, I don't remember it being such a bizarre box, but here. I've used it several times, and so let me just show you. In the end, I don't know how. I don't know if I'd buy it again, and I'll show you why. I mean, if you want to get started, it's great. But so it basically has this, it's just straight up epoxy, where you twist this end off, and it's got the 2 areas, and you get a little cup, and you kind of squirt a small amount. You don't want to do too much of this at a time because it dries quickly. But it's just epoxy. But the magic stuff, I feel, is you get this, which is the glittering gold, and they give you 2 of these. Let me see. I think I've repaired like 4 pots now. Let me see if this one's open. That one's not open. But basically, I mean, this stuff's quite pretty. And so you mix a certain amount of this in, right? And it's very powdery. And they also give you some brushes so you can sort of apply it in there. But basically, you create this gold epoxy, and then you put it on both ends, and there are directions that come with this, of the ceramic, and then you kind of hold that together, and it gets firm pretty quickly, and then so I had to, you do that in multiple sessions, because depending on how broken it is, you need to get it all together without it falling apart. But it worked pretty well, and I kind of like that. We'll see how this holds up. I mean, this is kind of indoor tree anyway, but it's epoxy, and as long as you get it sealed, I think it'd be fine for outdoor use as well. But as far as buying the kit, I think you could probably buy this stuff at Michael's or something, and then the epoxy is just straight up epoxy. So I don't think there's anything special in here that you couldn't just do yourself for probably a lot less money at the at a hobby store or something. But it was kind of fun to repair those, and I hate to get rid of stuff that is that has some use, right? And so it always bothered me to kind of there it is one last time, to throw these pots away when I kind of figured, well, they've got to be repairable. And so I've repaired a few pots, and I haven't had a failure yet. So I think it seems like it works quite well. And you probably want, I don't know how far you can go with it. Like you can see, I mean, that was certainly a big chunk, and this was a little tough. And like sometimes you get there was a chunk that was falling out, and you don't want to cut yourself. So I sort of just filled it in with the epoxy to make it kind of safe, safe to just pick up and not worry about cutting myself. But yeah, that's it. And here, let me show you. I'll zoom in a little because I kind of want to show you the I don't know if it's going to come up, like this white crackle, like a crackle on the pot, which I kind of like. And let's see, I'll show you one of my other. You can really see the sins in my repair work here, but like I said, this was, and I probably should have filled that in. There's a little gap there, but I don't know. Seems to be working so far. I didn't have to throw the pot away, and whether it's for better or for worse, I now have. You can see how sort of dried up they are. I now have 2 pots that I can work with. So let me see. I want to make sure there's nothing else I wanted to mention on this. I don't think there are. So, like I said, Gollum Jade, definitely one of my favorites, and I think this composition came out really, really well. I'm very happy with it. I can't wait until it gets robustly healthy and I can start moving it forward again, and there'll be future videos on that. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video. Forests are just, they're just so much fun. You can be so creative and spend a lot of time and kind of dial it into exactly what you want. And you can always move a tree if you don't get it quite right, or you don't think that you've gotten it quite right. And with that, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. I also wanted to I don't know if I put my coffee cup in the shot so you can see how tall it is. I'll put it in the middle. These are, again, they're kind of small, and I want to keep them that way. And with that, have a great week, and I'll see you again soon.